To introduce our next honoree, we have 2016 inductee and Vice President at Libsyn, Rob Walsh.
Hello, everyone. I have the honor to introduce our next inductee, Tim Street. Some are saying video is the next new thing in podcasting. And I have to imagine for Tim, who was doing video podcast almost 20 years ago, that is an interesting prediction, at least for the new part. Tim, via French Maid TV, brought a professional level of production 19 years ago that most getting into video today would be really wise to learn from, which is ironic given that idea around French Maid TV was you would need to learn something new. And I know, I watched almost every one of those episodes 50 times at least. I've known Tim almost 20 years, and seeing the handlebar mustaches, when I at a conference, it ensured me I had someone I could sit and talk with and learn from. Tim also had a blog called One Tim Street that was, quote, on viral videos, social media, and how to make money from video, unquote, back in 2007. Thank you, Tim, for sharing all that knowledge. I mean, I learned a lot from it. For the past 10 years plus, Tim has been a VP with Podtrac and Authentic, and he has worked to make sure podcasting could be a medium those with an audience had an opportunity to monetize. For almost 20 years, Tim has been saying, if you want to make a business out of podcasting, here's how, let's do this. Thank you, Tim, for your contributions, influence, and desire to make podcasting a viable medium for all. Folks, please join me in welcoming Tim Street to the Podcast Hall of Fame.
Wow. Thanks, Rob. Thanks to the Hall of Fame, the Podcast Hall of Fame. Thanks for all of you being here. It's been a long journey. There's been a lot of stuff that has gone on in podcasting. I'd like to say thanks again to the Podcast Hall of Fame, to the inductees, and to Podfest for making this open and available to us all. You know, I'd also like to say thanks to my understanding wife, Sonia, who let me shoot women dressed as French maids. It was PG-13, okay, so don't get too excited. Also like to thank my kids, Ethan and Riley. They're not here tonight, but my nieces, Sandy and Rihanna, and my nephew Matt are here, so thank you very much for joining. As a little kid, I wanted to be a writer, and I was repeatedly told that I couldn't be a writer because I couldn't spell. And in 10th grade, in computer math class, when my teacher, Jim Vitter, at Evans High School in Orlando, Florida, said to me, Tim, there's a new program, it's called Spell Check. I cried. Teachers do make a difference, so keep that in mind. Writing a podcast changed my life. It really did. It opened up opportunities that are still available today. It's really for anyone who wants it. There's nothing stopping you. And to borrow from a friend of mine, Chris Hansen, who does a podcast called Investing from the Beach, Chris says, gay, straight, black, white, short, tall, fat, skinny, it doesn't matter. Well, he's talking about the stock market, but the same thing applies to podcasting. It doesn't matter. You can go make a podcast. Nobody's stopping you from making a podcast. No one is stopping you from monetizing a podcast. You have that opportunity. Many of you here in the room know what I'm talking about, and those of you who don't, you need to get smart, and you need to go chase your dreams. It's important. The thing about podcasting is that you need to print out your speech like Lou Mangella so that your phone doesn't shut down on you. The first podcast I ever came across was a podcast called Tiki Bar TV. It was done by a guy named Jeff McPherson. Really creative guy, and I wanted to partner with him, but it didn't work out. And so I did what anyone would do when things aren't going your way. I went to a podcast convention. That one was in Ontario, California in 2005. Shout out to the Berkwin brothers. They're awesome for putting that together. And when I went there, I saw a guy named Leo Laporte. Anyone know that name? So Leo had a podcast called This Week in Tech, and he was up on stage and he was talking about this company called Podtrac that had brought him his first sponsor. And I was like, wow, that's cool. Well, I want to say thanks to Mark McCrary and Bethel Oshway at Podtrac, who brought me my first sponsor, which was GoDaddy. And that was a long time ago. They also asked me to come on as their vice president of development and production, and I got to head that up. So I want to say thanks to them. And a thanks to a guy named Willard Tressel, who really helped me focus on the benefit of your podcast. And when you think about a benefit of your podcast, think about the iPod. When we first had that, it was 1,000 songs in our pocket. And for all of us who had CDs and notebooks in the backseat of our car, that was a big benefit. So Tim Napoleon at Akamai, he gave us some free bandwidth. And someone who's helped many people in podcasting, she's an unsung hero, Dr. Jennifer Selke. She was my unpaid intern. She did talent wrangling. She helped us out so much, so thank you, Jen. I also want to thank the guys at Ask a Ninja. They were an early pioneer in video podcasting as well. Alex Albrecht, Kevin Rose, they had a podcast called Dignation, and they were awesome because they did collabs with us. Collabs are so important today, they were really important back then. Shout out to JD Finari, Jason Gottlieb, Alex O'Connor, and the team at Spark Factory. Thank you to Pete Alcorn, Scott Simpson, and James Bogues from Apple Podcast, and Felicia Williams from YouTube. Those were people who really helped us out in the early days of podcasting. Stephen Starr and Angela Gevin at Rever. Rever was another big podcasting web video kind of place that was super helpful. Thank you to Mark Summers from Nickelodeon, who inspired me and really helped me, gave me the encouragement to go make my own content. And a special thanks and shout out to Emma Kikuchi, Ed Begley Jr., Kathy Heller, and the author Michael Conley. I also want to say thanks to my mom for always pushing me to be creative. She was just always encouraging me to do that. And last but not least, futurist and my best friend, Ted Schilowitz. Ted convinced me to quit my day job as a steam train engineer in the Magic Kingdom and go freelance and start producing. So thanks, Ted. The door's still open in podcasting, and it allows you to chase your dreams. And you'll be happiest if you chase your dreams. Take it from me. So allow yourself to chase your dreams. Go chase your dreams. Thank you.